Alright, so in this video, I'll go into more detail on email copywriting in order to expand on what was covered in the intro video. To summarize and reiterate the important points so far, first you want to use short and sweet subject lines that leave room for curiosity, like things that don't immediately seem like marketing email subject lines, or things that are open-ended questions are also good ideas to ask. Make sure the email text is concise and scannable to many people, including people who are busy and get many other emails, which is a lot of people. So preferably 1 to 2 sentence, quick, concise paragraphs. You don't need to get real in depth with it and have like 2 paragraphs, 2 big paragraphs about, hi, my name is this, I do this, blank, blank, blank. Just get to the point. And you want to include a clear call to action in every email. Maybe in the first email to cold leads, you could simply ask for a reply, but ideally, really quickly, you should be directing the prospects to a funnel. So no later than like your second follow-up. Of course, there is the chance that the prospect could respond to the email directly with a personal question and you have to manually respond and just take it over from there. But otherwise, in terms of your planned follow-ups, you will want to be directing people to a funnel fairly quickly. Over the course of your emails, be sure to build rapport and provide value with personalized conversation for those people who reply and just useful resources like guides. And specifically with that providing value, make sure it's things that are valuable to your target market, including the people who are in your email list. So you should have some idea of where you got your email list from and what types of people are in that email list. And if it's a bunch of different types of potential prospects, then you should even be segmenting that before you get into email marketing. So you could have templates that are more suited to each individual scenario. All right, so expanding on what we've already covered, emphasize benefits over features. So instead of simply listing the features of your product or service, focus on how those features serve a deeper purpose in your prospects' lives. Explain how using your product or service will make their life easier, or solve a problem, or fulfill a certain need they have. Another tip is to use some variation of the following. You're helping your target market, so you just insert whoever that is, helping them achieve a particular goal without any of the hassle that's typically associated with it. So maybe that would be helping homeowners improve their long-term finances and quality of life through solar energy, without a hefty down payment, or even list multiple things that could be potential roadblocks that you are helping them achieve that goal without. So essentially, help them get what they want without having to go through the typical challenges that they don't want. Next, like all marketing, include social proof and testimonials. You could even incorporate these into a short story if you're later in your follow-ups. So on earlier follow-ups or earlier emails you're sending people where they don't know you as well, they're not going to sit through and read like 2-3 huge paragraphs about some story. But after, if people have opened it a couple times or even clicked on your link and checked it out, you can start going into a little more details and having a little more of a hard sell in those emails. You can also link your strongest social media account or social media accounts if you have maybe like 2 that are really strong at the bottom of your email, just as a sort of footer. So for example, if you have a really strong YouTube presence, then you could link that at the bottom. So for example, if you have a really strong YouTube presence, then you can link that at the bottom, or really strong Instagram with a lot of followers. You have a Facebook that looks really nice. Then those can all be ways that potential leads could get into your circle of influence, even if they don't immediately respond and go down the funnel process. Next, I'm going to talk a little bit about A/B testing. So if you have a larger email list, then you can try split testing different emails, which are basically just testing them against each other, 2 variations of basically the same email to see which one works better. Our CRM has an A/B test feature. So there's a video in this series on email marketing in the CRM, and our CRM does have an A/B test feature, but it requires you to have at least 40 contacts that you're going to be sending emails to, and at least 10 for each variation. And you can choose how much of your database you are going to run this test on. So let's say you have 40 contacts. The A/B testing feature allows you to send maybe 10 of them one version, 10 of them the other version, and then out of which one was the better performer, the rest of the other 20 contacts will be sent that better email. Now, I really wouldn't run a split test if you only have like 10 people for one and 10 people for the other. Ideally, and of course you might not be at this point yet, in which case you might not want a split test, but at least like 50 to 100 for each variation is going to give you a more accurate picture. And that is because most people aren't going to respond and most people aren't going to become your customers. So you need a bit of a larger sample size to actually get an idea of which variation is the better performing one. And treat it like a scientific experiment. Test one variable at a time, or you won't know what's causing it to work or not work. So if you split test and you have one email and something entirely different, you're not necessarily going to know why the better one is performing the way it is. It could be anything because you changed the whole email. So only change one thing at a time and then just gradually evolve it until you get your winning email. So for example, that could be the testimonial in your email if you include a testimonial, or your offer or call to action, while keeping everything else the same. And if one of those things doesn't help, then you can try something else. There are many things to A/B test, more than I could think of right on the spot, but other things would be like your subject line, how you describe the benefits of your service, and even your tone talking to your target audience. And at first, especially if you're new to email marketing, both tests, both variations might suck. It's unlikely that your first one or two variations of your email are going to be the one that's actually the most profitable. So you could run the test and maybe both of them are performing the same, and then you try to test something else. Or one of them is performing better, and then you use that one and try to branch off more and improve that even more by testing it against other variations of it. So don't be discouraged if your first one, even two split tests don't go as planned. Even 3 or 4, these things can take some time to get right. So that was more in depth on copywriting and A/B testing your email marketing campaigns. Hope this is valuable. I'll see you next time.